Alright, welcome back to another day trading recap video. Today is Monday, April 25th, 2022, and I am finishing the day up $111.96. That's a pretty solid green day, if you ask me. I'd say I hit my daily goal. My daily goal is about maybe $100. I hit my daily goal. However, it was very choppy, very choppy. My P&L was choppy. A lot of the gappers were choppy, and the market has just been really selling off. So there hasn't been a lot of momentum in the market. It's been very spotty. But here, let's go over through my trades. I traded NKTX QNRX and SBFM. So let's go through the trades from the morning. NKTX, I traded this right at 7:13 in the morning. I saw this pop up and then it pulled back right under the 250 level, and I saw it retesting 250 and I was hitting the buy order. However, I didn't change my time in force orders from day order to an extended order, and I ended up chasing it after I was able to change it, and then I didn't get in until 12.79, and I only was able to get a part of the move. So it pushed up towards $13 and then pulled back right under $13. I added at $12.79 for the next push through $13. Usually right when it gets to a psychological resistance point, it pulls back either within the same candle or within the next candle, then finally breaks through. And so I used that opportunity to buy a micro pullback, as you can say, and I was able to take profit at 13.03 for a solid maybe 23 cents profit. And then I added this pullback back to add on the pullback to 1250, the previous resistance point, which is now support, and I was able to scalp that for a couple cents as well on small size. And at that point I was up maybe about $14 on the day. Good start to my week. You know, my first trade of the week was green, so that definitely makes me feel that, you know, I still have that momentum going and I still have that mojo. And then we traded NKTX again at 8:05, right as it was curling back up to the highs. So it broke back over VWAP. So it broke over VWAP flush, and then as it broke back over VWAP, I was adding on this pullback here for a push through the resistance at 1164. So I added at 1154 here, and then looking for a push through 64. I was able to scalp some at the high 50s for a couple cent gain, and then I added back on a pullback to the VWAP to 54, and then finally got that push through 64, and I was able to take it off at 73, 74, 60, and that was a nice gain there. And at that point I was up maybe about $27 or $28 on the day. And then, you know, we had this nice push towards the highs. However, I didn't trade any of this. I'm not sure why. I don't know what I was just sleeping, I guess. I think I was playing chess at some point because I was really bored. So then we got a push up towards the high, and then this candle pushed up, and then I kind of chased it a little bit. However, I did wait for a little bit of a dip, and I added at 85, and I took that off as it pushed back over 13 for a 20-cent gain. That was a nice scalp there, and then added on this dip at 1280 and got a nice 5 cents there. And then my last sell was for a nice almost 30 cents. 20 cents, almost 20 cents again. So that was good. At that point, I was up very nicely on the day. I think this was 8:30, so 8:30 I was up about $40 on the day. Then here, added on a dip back to the 9 EMA, added here, and then we got a little pop. However, I closed most of it break even with 125 shares to be, you know, I made about like $1.50 on that one. And then it still consolidated to the 9 EMA, reclaimed the 9 EMA. I added, looking for the break of this pivot at 1291. However, it stalled for some reason. I didn't have the patience to hold it through, and I completely missed this 50-60 cent move. It's quite unfortunate. I was looking at something else. This could have been a great trade here through the highs. It was pretty much a cup and handle pattern. So here's the cup, here's the handle, you know, a double topped, pulled back to the 90 EMA, and then finally ripped through. That was a beautiful setup, and I'm kicking myself in the butt right now that I didn't trade that. And I didn't have the patience. I could have held this and then added as it was going into the highs. That would have been a beautiful trade. I would have been up a lot more than I am now. Who knows? I mean, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. I have no idea. But yeah, I ended up chasing this at 13.55, and then I realized I was chasing it, and I was like, you know what? I missed it. I'm already in a state of, FOMO. I just need to close my position, just wait for the next setup, because this was a terrible entry at 13.55. It could have easily rejected back below this level, and I could have been down underwater. So I closed it for a small loss, was waiting for the next setup. And then I chased it again because I couldn't help myself because it just made another 5% move in a one candle. And so I was like, oh, this is going parabolic. So I FOMO'd into that one, scalped that for maybe 2 cents. And then we had this topping tail rejection candle off 14.50, which I added on the dip at 13.50. I was able to scalp for 5 cents. Very small size. I didn't even get any fill on that. I only had 5 shares. I got filled. It was quite not the best. Then we pulled back a little bit, not even to the 90 EMA, so I thought it was a little bit premature. But, I had to trade it because, you know what, it was in a front side move. It was strong. It was holding over this breakout level. I had to go for at least small size because the setup was there. And so I added that 14.35 for the break, and I got a nice fill here for 13-cent profit. And then it kind of just had a grinding front side. These aren't my favorite because I tend to overthink, and it pops and then it drops and then it consolidates and then pops and then drops and then consolidates and pops and drops. It's just not really good for my strategy. Here, off the 90 EMA could have been good. We had this bottoming wick here that I could have added and then added into the break of 15.30. But it didn't really offer too much opportunity. And then here I started buying off the bottom of the support here. I saw finding support here and then a dip below support and just kept reclaiming. So I thought it was bullish. So I thought we were going to get a move, and then we just got a rejection candle here. And I kind of got chopped around a little bit. 20-cent loss there on 50 shares. Here was a 10-cent win. Here was a 4-cent win, and then a small loss on this one. So about break even there. And then going into the open, I traded QNRX as well, pre-market, and I lost quite a bit here. So I went from up about $40 to down like $25. I gave back $15 or $10 or so on this pullback. So I saw it popping up. It was just a small float, and it's decent volume, 200,000 shares a minute, 150 to 200,000 shares a minute. And I saw it pop up, and then it pulled back a little bit, and I started buying into this pullback, thinking we would see a push finally through 67. And here you can see the resistance at 70. And so I was looking forward through 67 and 70 for a move back up to 89. And you can see on the daily there's resistance at $2. I thought we were going to push through that. either here or at the open. Hold up. And so I was buying this pullback thinking we'd find support on the 9 EMA or the VWAP and then push back up. But then it broke down through the VWAP, and I had to take off 225 shares at 149, and I just had to take the loss. Even though it curled back up, like I didn't know that at the time. It could have just went backside. And then it pulled back up, and then I thought this was going to be it. And so I started adding at 64, like right underneath that breakout level. And then I added more at 67. And then, as it broke up, I wanted to see volume pushing through, but the volume wasn't coming in. It was kind of stalling out. So I took it all off, and then it panic dipped all the way down here. And I started buying the pullback at 63 a little bit early, and then I got shaken out down here. So for a 10-cent loss, on 75 shares, that's a lot for a $1 stock. 10 cents, and that's $7.50 right there. And at that point, I was down like 19. I mean, I went from up 40 to only up 19 on the day going into the open. So let's go back to NKTX. And so, even on QNRX, I was watching it, and we never got that push through that 170 level and really pushed it towards $2. That's what I was looking for. So let's go to the open here, NKTX. So NKTX, it popped up, and I wanted to chase it, but I kind of held back because I was waiting for a push down below, and I knew there was support under this level because it was consolidating all pre-market and didn't have any pops to pressure the shorts, and it was an easy to borrow stock early pre-market, so I thought there were some newbie shorts on it. So it dipped below the support level, and then it was retesting this resistance, support now resistance level, and so it dipped down below, and then I added at 50, and then I took it off break even. It just got a bad fill. I pushed up and then rejected, so I just took it off, waited for another entry. Then it pulled back down here, and then it the wick started getting bought up, and I started just adding, and I got a nice 9 cents on that one. I could have got more, but it did reject kind of hard here. I was really looking for a push to the high. And then as I saw it holding again on this level, I was like, I have to at least put my starter. If it goes lower, I can add a little bit lower if it's showing buyers coming in. And it was dipping down below, and I just felt the buyers on it. If you see this rejection candle here, and then the next candle already starting to reclaim that level, there's buyers on that buying that up. They're seeing this price here at a discount. This rejection here and the panic of the longs thinking it's going to go lower. Other traders more experienced are seeing this as a buying opportunity. And so when they see it as a buying opportunity, everyone's just going to start following suit and just bidding it higher and higher and higher. And this is what happened here. I was adding all the way through this, just following the price all the way up. And I took it off actually really early for a 20-cent gain, but still 20 cents, that's pretty solid. And then it popped all the way up. I started chasing it at 41 for a breakthrough the highs, and it popped through the highs. However, I did get a bad fill on it. I could have got more, but it popped through, and then it rejected all the way back down to 1533. So I only got roughly on this. Actually, this was a small loss. Yeah, this was a small loss. I was really looking for, it could have been a really good home run if it went through 16 all the way up to 1650 and higher. I think my chicken is done. Let me see if I can finish this quick. My chicken is done, so I just gotta make this quick. And then it pulled back here. I tried scalping off the low here. I thought there was buyers still on this, and which there were. So I bought the low here off the VWAP, and then I kind of scalped it here and made some profit all the way back up to, I was up $75 at 10 o'clock. And then I chased it into this level here, buying here at 1539, and then I got rejected on immediate flush right when I bought it, 40 cents a share loss. And so that put me back down to where I was to $20 on the day, and then, $30 on the day. And then on this candle here, I saw the wick getting bought up. I was like, oh, this is very strong. We're going to run here. And so I started adding pretty aggressively. I was in 100 shares, but, I should have stayed only in maybe 50 shares max because it's a ranging stock still. And there's no volume really confirming it yet. I only want to be adding into confirmation. And I was in too heavy when there was no confirmation yet. And so this candle kind of retested the lows again. I thought it was just going to keep going lower, and so I had to cut it as a loss. And then that put me to, again, back to where I was, $19 on the day. And then finally here, we got a push. I saw consolidating here, and it was just not rejecting, not holding below the VWAP. And so when it reclaimed VWAP, I was adding pretty aggressively, but I took it off so soon, 1448. Only right here. I missed a whole nother 5% move, and so I had FOMO, and then added into here, looking for that move, and then I added here at 1512 for a pop, It sold some for a profit, and then it held some all the way back down to 1460, and that was stressful. Again, I lost roughly 25 bucks on that trade. Let's see how much. 1002. Yeah, $22. I lost $22 on this trade. It was still a ranging stock. I shouldn't have been in 100 shares or 125 shares, whatever I was in, because it's still ranging. It's not breaking over this pivot. It's not holding. Volume started to fade on this pullback here. And after this rejection candle, I should have just took it all off immediately, not hold for this candle. But I guess part of me thought it was going to have support off the 9 EMA, but it was still a ranging stock at this point. Look, it's just going side and bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down. I shouldn't have been in so much. I should have just held with the small position size, and I shouldn't have held it all the way down here. And then it finally pushed back, and I saw, now it was kind of obvious because you had a lower low and then a higher low and now a higher low. And so I started buying into this pullback here, and then I started adding into here, and then immediately in an instant, like a flash, it just flashed to 16 and then 1650, halted up, and I was in maybe about 75 shares, and I got like $1 a share on that, and I sold at the halt, and that was it. I was done. I was up 95 on the day, and then on the resumption, it pulled back, and then it opened up right under 17. I added right under 17, got to sell at 1703. And then it pulled back, and I was adding on to lows, looking for, a reclaim and maybe a push higher. But, just only comfortable taking only a couple cents at a time because the market hasn't been hot lately, and I didn't think there would be continuation. So I was just taking my profits, whatever I could get off the lows here. And here I got 10 cents. Here I got 20 cents. Here I got, I think this was 10 cents. And so at that point I was up maybe about 100. This is where I got to 111 on the day. And so I gave back at one point. Here you can see I gave back from $75 to 19. And I was got to be done here. I was about to be happy with my $20 win on the day. I was about to be happy and I'm gonna walk away. And then I saw it. I just saw the chart pattern, higher lows. Volume was coming in. I was now holding over the resistance level, and I was like, this is getting squeezed out. And I was confident, and I added into it. Even after all of those failed attempts on all of these other false breakouts, here, here, and here, I was still confident that this would work out. And, because I was confident this would work out, I made back all of the losses I'd made in any of this here, any of this chop. I made it all back and more, and I finished at the high of the day. And for me, I'm proud of that. Before, I would take a loss, and I would go shelter back in my comfort zone and size down to 10 shares, and this would finally move, and I wouldn't be able to make any of the losses back, or I would just sit there in shock that it was moving now without me, and that I just had to buy a bad timing. So I'm definitely evolving as a trader, and my results are showing. And to make $111, that's awesome. That can pay for my groceries for the week. That is just so fulfilling. It's so hard to explain, and not many people, get to this point, after 2 years of hard work to finally be able to making some decent money. But finally, when you're able to make some decent money, some at least, whatever, anything to pay for something, groceries, something small, even like just going out for coffee, just knowing that, you traded and you made $10 to go pay for some Starbucks coffee and not have to worry about, money to pay for that. Like, you earned it. And just, being able to, say just to earn money from your hobby or something that you're working so hard on in the mornings for a small period of time, to be able to just pay for some bills to make life easier. It's just very fulfilling. So we'll see what happens. I'm doing pretty good in the month. I think the start of next month I might size up a little bit more. Might bump it up to 75 share increments instead of 50. This stock was a little bit more expensive, so I was using 25 shares instead of 50 because just of how more expensive it was. because just the dollar amount would be different. You know, if it was a $5 stock, I would do 50 or 75, but because it was a $14 or $15 stock, I was doing 25 shares. Yeah, so that's that. That's my day. It's already a 20-minute recap video. I didn't want it to be 20 minutes, but ended up being 20 minutes. So I'm gonna try to keep that lower. So I'm just gonna wrap it up here. Finishing the day up $111.96. Pretty solid day if you ask me. And the tip of the day is, you know, even all you need is to size into one winner. You can take losses if you cut your losses responsibly. Waiting for that one that's going to be a winner, and if you keep your confidence to size into that and trust the market and trust the chart setup, the chart pattern, that's all you need to be green. That's really it. I gave back 75% of my profits, and then I had this one final move, and boom, I was up all the way back at my highs again. So that's the tip of the day, is to manage your risk responsibly and wait for that one winner and size into it confidently, and you'll be good. So you'll be good and green. So that's it for me, and I will see you guys on the next trade trading recap probably tomorrow. Peace.